If you've been feeling helpless lately, like no matter what you do, the world's suffering is just too much, you're not alone. As an ADHD empath, you don't just see the pain, you actually absorb it. And when crisis after crisis keeps unfolding, and especially, watching the news nowadays, it's like almost on so many levels, on so many planes on this earth, all of this can leave you feeling completely powerless. But here's the truth, you're not powerless. You may not be able to change everything, but there's things that you can change. And how you can navigate this and at the same time protect yourself and maybe even make a difference in your world is what I'm going to show you today. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is May, and I am your friendly cyber witch, here to help you harness your energy, master your focus, and build a soul-aligned business with a little magic and a little tech. And as I mentioned, today we're diving in this very heavy topic because I feel it's something happening right now. I know I feel like 24 was extremely hard in ways of, it was asking a lot of us. We were going through many, transformations, many things that we had to ask ourselves, many challenges that we had to go through. And then it felt like 2025, we just hit the ground running, and it was one thing after another. And I feel like, especially the last couple of weeks, it has been culminating. It doesn't matter whether, wherever I'm on social media, sort of my algorithm got sucked into a couple of those news that I usually try to avoid. And I'm going to tell you why I avoid it, because it's one of the points that I want to talk about today. But all of, it has become very, very, very heavy. The world is, at the moment, it feels like the world is sort of hurting. And especially for us ADHDers, ADHD empaths, and I want to bring in the ADHDers because I feel like ADHDers, we're the typical overthinkers. And as empaths, we overfeel, to put it in that way. So we overdo all of this with everything that we hear because we are so empathetic with the pain that the world is going through right now. And that can be extremely overwhelming, right? And, being an ADHDer, we scan all the information that we have. So our emotions get heightened from that. And it feels like you can't turn it off, right? And same thing for us empaths. We're sort of like all over the place. We see the news and it's like you can't even find words for it because it's just so, whew, right? And I feel that within all of this, the worst part is that no matter what you do or don't do, because you just can't, we get into this, I'm going to call it the ADHD paralysis or the empath paralysis, when you get so overwhelmed that everything is too much. So you feel like you can't do enough, but you can't hold it because you're already overwhelmed. It's like you can't even do one thing. That makes you feel like you can't do anything and that you can't do enough and that you should be doing more, but you can't because, again, you're drained, right? And that's where we need to shift, right? Instead of drowning in all of this weight of everything. For me, I remember hearing it the first time in German, and I feel like when you translate it to English, it's the same. It feels like you're holding the weight of the world, right? It's like you're holding the weight of the world. And that's where we need to make that shift, that instead of drowning in everything, that we can focus on what we can do, and that starts with ourselves, right? And that's why, and this is why for me, no matter if it's ADHD or the empathic side, when you focus your energy on something, and I know if you're going to go, but it's so hard, don't worry. There's ways to bring yourself back, to remind yourself to focus the energy on where you want it to focus. All right. And don't expect yourself to go from, complete overwhelm to, oh, everything's fine and peachy. Don't expect that of yourself. Give yourself some grace, give yourself time. But even if you just manage to do one of these things, it's amazing. If you manage to do two, even better. If you manage to repeat a couple of those, even better. All right. But give yourself grace and go one step at a time. And as always, the very first thing that you can do is focus on yourself. All right. So let's bring back the energy. It's about, energy flows where attention goes. So where is your attention? And that's why I said, I just said that my algorithm on my social media is sort of off right now, because I embraced the pain right now, and especially in the last couple of weeks. I embraced the pain, and I embraced the news, right? So sort of, we all know, come on, we all know social media is full of algorithms. And if you're tuning in here, it's because you probably have at least one social media account. And so we all know the rabbit hole that we can go down there, right? But one of the things that I find very important, that I have done years, that I started doing years ago, and that I redo over, I think this is the second time ever since I installed my own, way of dealing with the algorithm years ago. This is the second time that I allowed myself to embrace, and go down the rabbit hole, but I did it consciously. So the thing is, it starts with your algorithm. Make yourself aware that on social media, we have an algorithm, and that algorithm, we can change it. So if you feel like you're watching too many videos about this or that, you can change that by not liking and just going through, not following. And, whenever you feel like there's something that you don't want to see, or that is actually the energy that is pulling you down, and then you push, you just pass it by. You see that, ooh, it's not what you want, pass it through. Go actively on search for example, that's what I did. And I'm telling you this because this is something that I did years ago when I was in the middle of a burnout, meaning a full-blown depression. And I realized that one of the things that was pulling me down was seeing so many things about the world. Not saying that we're going to get to the point where what can we do for the world, right? But for now, the first thing is, you can't do anything for the world if you're not in your strength. And if you're still having things that pull you down and get you out of it, then that's the moment where you need to, really actively change the algorithm that you have in your social media. And it doesn't matter which which social media channels you have. They all work in this way. The more you view certain content, that's what you're going to be seeing more and more, right? So if you want to see more good news and less of the negative news, and this is one of the things that I did, because in the middle of a full depression, you don't want to see the negative things of the world. And start doing that. Start looking for that. I know we want to support, and I know that there's many things happening right now, but there's so many ways for us to consciously get into the news, consciously decide, okay, for today, I'm going to take 10 minutes to watch actual news or read actual news. And then I'm going to get out of that energy and back into, my energy. And this is something that I did, in my case, I had a sister that still wanted to watch normal news. So I talked to her, and we said, okay, I'm going to change my algorithm because I can't deal with this right now. But if there's anything important that I need to know in the news, because there's things that have to do with ourselves, our own city, our own place. So that's what I would do. So that's one of the things that you can do, is change your algorithm. Maybe find someone who likes to, do news, and that they don't have problems with the news. And then talk to them and tell them, hey, can I come and ask you? Or actively, go on Google or on Perplexity, no matter which ones of the news, of the search engines that you like to use. And then take that one to search the actual news of the day. Give yourself, set a timer, give yourself 10 minutes, go into that energy, come back out. And then, on your social media, you only have the positive ones. This is self-care that is very important to do. And this is just giving you one thing, because I know that right now it can happen on social media. So as you can think, just with this example with social media, what's the next things that you can do? Is the next step that I want you to feel in for yourself is and this is with a lot of grace and with a lot of love. It's okay for us to grieve. It's okay for us to feel angry at how the world is happening right now. But you're not required to carry that pain. No one told, you don't have to carry the pain for everybody, right? So give yourself that permission. Acknowledge the sadness, acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the anger, you know, without it consuming you. And this is, again, this is one thing when you do it consciously. Give yourself, again, do it. You can do it with a timer. You can do it with a friend, or a family member. Set yourself a certain time and allow yourself to be in that anger. Allow yourself to be in the sadness. And I know in the beginning this sort of feels counterintuitive because it's like, oh my God, do I have to go into that? And it's not like you're going into it. Please don't, like always have security around you, meaning have people around you that can hold that space for you, with you. But the thing that we need to know is that if we feel anger, and especially again, as ADHD and as empaths, when we feel anger, and I'm not saying go and, hit someone or something, but allow yourself to feel the anger, because we're so wired to not allow our feelings that those start eating us up. And that's actually overwhelm. That's what overwhelms us as well, because we're not used to feeling the feelings. So that's a huge chunk that we can, that you can do for yourself, is allow yourself to feel the feelings, feel the feels, as I like to say. Right. And like I mentioned, protecting your energy is so important. So protecting your energy, on one hand, what I just said is, for example, disconnecting, because on one hand, being informed is important, but constantly being absorbed by the trauma is not helping you. So I already gave you that one for social media, what you can do with social media. Same thing with if you have people around you that are constantly in the middle of it. I do understand that we need to talk about things because there might be reasons why we need to stand up, get up, get out on the street, and manifest ourselves, our opinions about certain things, because we want, the world to hear certain opinions, because it's necessary. We sometimes need that. And if you feel the call to it, do it. But also try to do it as consciously as possible and take yourself back out of it again, because it's not helping you to permanently be in that energy. So set the time limits, like I said, for the news, for social media, and the same also for people. Set time limits for yourself, how you want to hang out with certain people. And as often as possible, ask yourself, is this serving me? If you're going down a social media rabbit hole, ask yourself, is this serving me right now? What can I do? Like, hey, maybe I can use social media actually to relax. So if I want to relax, like, what can I do? Follow a couple of comedians. That's actually how I got my news, but I got it in a funny way. So it was like I knew that there was something happening. And if I needed to go deeper into the news, I would take the time. But other than that, I would do that. So that's another important part. And of course, one of my favorite things, and I'm not sure if I have done the practice with you already, but I feel like we had it in the newsletter, is visualize a protective shield around you, allowing you the awareness of the things, but filtering out the emotional overload, the energetic overload. All right. So this is a practice. If you probably can Google it somewhere, about the protective shield, making a bubble where you imagine that from your center there's a light that expands around your whole body, and that helps you protect yourself. So if you're tuning in right now, I'm imagining that energetic bubble around me. And I remember when I was used to practice it every day. This is something that you could practice every day. I used to practice this every day, at my corporate job. And it was incredible what kind of changes this made. It's not a 100% protection. There's a couple of things that are still going to come through, But that means because those things need to be looked at on a deeper level. But you will be protected from, let's say, superficial kind of energies. For example, like news that we watch sometimes, right? Another tangible action that I feel is extremely important is to ground yourself. What helps you ground yourself? Is it going for a walk? Like I did a full 90-minute walk in the forest today. Sorry, it wasn't 95 minutes. No, so yeah, 95 minutes. I loved it. Beautiful. You just go do your thing through the forest. It just helps your body go on a different level. That was one thing. But if I can't, because whatever's happening and I can't go into a forest, if I can't go into a park, into nature, imagine yourself standing here right now in this room, wherever you are. Imagine yourself standing and creating roots into the floor. And just that, like as if you would be becoming a tree. That is going to help you get stability and, especially in this chaotic time, ground yourself. Take deep breaths. Inhale 4, hold for 4, exhale 8. One of my favorite breathing techniques. Set yourself a timer and go inhale 4, hold for 4, and exhale to 8. If 4 is too long, go 3, 3, 6. That also works. Right? Grounding yourself, as I already said, grounding yourself, imagine how you're grounding yourself. Sit down on the floor. That's also helpful. Or if you can sometimes, and just because I have it right now in my hand over here, take a crystal, take one of your stones, whatever you have, and feel into it. Give it a good feel by connecting to it, right? Drink water. Another favorite of mine is drink water with intention. Imagine that it's, cleansing your whole system. Go for it. Mm. Take a sip, drink as much as possible because that helps us grounding ourselves as well. And if you put, we can put energy into water. If you do that, that's going to help you as well. Um, and now coming to the point of, bringing the purpose into the powerlessness that we have, transforming that, right? So there's little steps that we can do. For example, if you feel helpless, try to find intentional steps that you can do. For example, like donating, even if it's just a little, $5, $10, €5, €10. I don't know what or pounds, whatever you can give. If you feel the calling for that, if you feel the calling that you need to share awareness, do that, but only do that if you do have the capacity, right? Do self-care first and then see if you feel like you're the right person to share awareness on a certain topic or support certain communities. Sometimes that helps to start to see where can I support around me. Another thing that I feel, especially for us spiritual kin, is that we can we can help by sending intentional blessings to the ether, to the planet, to countries, to it's not, I know that coming from a shamanic background, I don't like doing things without asking to singular people. But if I'm doing it because I'm sending it like a blessing to a crowd of, to a city, to a country, to um to a group of people maybe that has been, that is having trouble with something, whatever I'm talking, because right now I feel like the world is going crazy in so many ways, from uh, gender, from culture, from countries, is going all over the place. So one of the things that we can do is, instead of, because when I'm um, when I'm anxious about something, when I feel like, oh my God, what if this happens or what if that happens? That's also sort of like a projection into the ether. It's like I'm asking the universe for things like that. So make yourself aware that if you shift your thinking, if instead of saying, oh my God, what if this becomes even worse? What if this and that happens? What if, my family is going to be attacked or something? I don't, I'm trying to think of so many possibilities right now. What if, the wrong kind of people come, and become part of what do you call presidents of the country or whatever? Um, Instead of, being in that fear, ask yourself what could be the positive version of it. Meaning, um, I hope that, instead of that, let's send a blessing out to the next votes. Let's send a blessing out to all the um, you know for me being in Europe, or being a feminist myself, let's send a blessing out to all women on this planet. Let's send a blessing out so that may we all be in our strength, may we all be in harmony. Changing that sentence manages to, on one hand, change our energy, but it also changes the ether. Because imagine, now that I'm going for women, imagine us as women doing, all of us doing that. Imagine all of us stepping into our power and saying, okay, we're standing in our power, where we receive the blessing of the universe to have everything harmonious, to have everything peaceful, to live in a safe and peaceful world. I want that blessing for all women on this planet. It changes. And the more of us do that on a bigger level, the more we're going to be changing everything together. Right? So that's a very important one. That's how you can bring back, get out of the hopelessness, because that's one of the things that we can do. If you're here, if you're working on your program, I'm going to call it programs, because we have so many beliefs and things that we have been taught so far, why we're not good enough, why we're not, so many things. But the more we change that, we're changing the energy of the planet. So that's the one thing that you can do right now, is actually work on yourself. The more you work on yourself, on the people around you, if you have, if you can, the more we do that, the more we are going to be able to shift the energy on this planet, and hopefully stop having moments like this right now. Stop feeling that. So that's the one thing that you can do. And to finish it off, to give you one last tip for today, is to give yourself permission to rest. Because with everything happening, is, as an empath, as an ADHDer, we're always running around doing stuff, and we feel the need that we need to do stuff. Find out what are the ways that you can rest, that are restful for you. And I'm not trying to, like, if it means sitting down for 20 minutes and playing your favorite game on your phone, if it means going for a walk with your best friend, if it means watching your favorite series, if it means, meditating, do that. Find out whatever helps you, because I know we're different, we're all different, and at the same time we're all the same. Find out what really helps you wind down. And winding down can be writing everything out, can be meditating, can be going for a walk. If that means winding down for you, do that. And make it clear to yourself that resting is not avoiding. It's giving yourself an energetic reset. Right? The more you allow yourself to have those, maybe even tiny ones, tiny resets, the more you do that, the more you're going to be able to, do everything else. Right? I don't know if you've ever heard of the body scan. I think I've spoken about it, but just to give you, that's one of the things that can help you to do micro meditations throughout the day that will help you, work through your overwhelm. Google it if you want to, or send me a message, and I can try to find. I know I've spoken about it. I think I've even made a short video about it. All right, but to finish it off for today, my beautiful soul, You're not powerless. You're a force of compassion, and the way you protect and channel your energy matters for all of us. It matters. And don't have to, you don't have to fix everything. You don't have to. You just have to take care of yourself first. And then when you do take action, do that from a place of strength and power instead of exhaustion. And probably also alignment, because that's when you're aligned. All right? And let me know in the comments what's the one thing that you're doing today to take care of your energy. I'd love to know about that. And let's just support each other through this. I'm here to hold your space. And I know there's more. I know that as empaths, we are the ones that hold space for so many people and so many things. And that's why it's so extremely important for us to, first of all, learn about ourselves and hold our own space first before we have, enough strength not to overwhelm with everybody else. All right. Until our digital paths cross again, remember to give yourself the same grace you'd extend to your favorite loading screen. Take your time, breathe, and allow yourself to buffer when needed. This is your Cyber Witch May signing off. Enjoy the song.
Feel the rhythm, feel the rise, energy dancing through the skies. From the digital waves to roots so deep, it's our sacred power we're here to keep. World's feeling heavy, but I'm standing tall. An empath heart absorbs it all. News on repeat, it cuts like a knife, but I'm reclaiming my piece of life. Energy flows where attention leaps. Guard my focus, my soul it keeps. Social feeds with stormy waves. I'm scripting joy, algorithm saves. Pause, breathe, let the chaos unwind. Shield around me, I'm one of a kind. Roots to the earth, I'm grounded, secure. From the center place, I'm free, I'm pure. So rise, rise like the sun. We're light keepers, everyone. Channel the magic, take back the day. Dance through the fears, they'll fade away. Rise, rise, the rhythm's begun. Align and shine, you're not alone, hun. Feel that fire, it's burning bright. We're tech witches, weaving love and light. Spiraling up from ground to screen. Sacred power in the space between. ADHD mind, my gift, my spark. Shines like a lighthouse through the dark. Overthink, overfeel, but now I know. I control the current, I direct the flow. Crystal in hand, water's cool embrace. These are the tools in the sacred space. Turn despair into fuel, fear into art. One action, one purpose, that's the start. So rise, rise like the sun. We're light keepers, everyone. Channel the magic, take back the day. Dance through the fears, they'll fade away. Rise, rise, the rhythm's begun. Align and shine, you're not alone, hun. Roots down deep like Wi-Fi strength. Channel divine at every wavelength. Switch my focus like tabs on Chrome. Boundaries set, reclaim my zones. Overload hits, but I recalibrate. Heart's a compass, thoughts vibrate. From screen to forest, from chaos to calm. I'm sinking my soul back into its song. Click, refresh, manifest, intention set. Algorithm for joy's my internet. Sending